Welcome to another Real Talking podcast. As you can see, I'm joined with Mason again. Today we're going to be reviewing The Dark Tower, Stephen King's novel that has been adapted into a movie. So before the start of this, obviously there's going to be some spoilers, as basically any review goes. It's sort of a new premise for a movie, or like even just a book, because it is sort of unique. It has the tower, the children, shine, magic, gunslingers, and all of that. But it's still based off a book, so it's very normal for Hollywood to adapt this into some sort of movie. It has a little weird of a storyline. Overall, I didn't really like this, but I'm just gonna let Mason talk first, just because I only liked like maybe one part of this entire movie. But overall, like, it's not a bad movie. I would recommend watching it, but just you shouldn't go to the theater and pay for it. Just wait for DVD.
Yeah, I agree mostly with that. I think that as far as movies go, it's really mediocre and it's not like super offensive. It doesn't try anything. All right, anyways, it doesn't try anything too like outlandish. It doesn't make any crazy like political statements. There's not like any strong allegories here. Like the action's fine. The action is filmed acceptably. Like it's not there were no action scenes that really made me go, "Oh wow, like this is a really compelling action scene." The special effects, again, they're fine. Like that's pretty much how you can describe this whole movie. It's not going to like blow your mind, but you don't really leave it feeling offended. Like I feel like you would the Emoji Movie, or like, a really bad adaptation of a comic book movie. Um, a lot of things were hit and miss as well. Like I think that Idris Elba did really good as the gunslinger. He had a lot of really like good charismatic moments, and he had moments where you sort of felt like they were trying to do a cool story with them. But Matthew McConaughey, who was the other lead, really annoyed me. So the two leads, one was really good, one was really bad. The little kid in this movie, I guess, who's supposed to be like the audience character, fucking Jake Chambers. I can't believe I remember his name because he was so forgettable, and so useless too. Like there's a scene where this monster comes from another dimension and starts attacking Jake and the gunslinger, and Jake literally just hides in a fucking bucket like the entire time. The gunslinger, he like gets the gun out and he's all wounded and he's like, "Oh, Jake, you did such a great job. You held your own there." And it's like, what did he do?
Yeah,
This kid
exactly.
literally just sat in a bucket and hid, and he probably pissed his pants. Like he did nothing. Did nothing to help. So yeah, overall the performances are fine. The special effects are fine. What about you? What did you think
Yeah,
about
so
some of
just
the
going
technical?
off of that like last point you just made about like him running away in that scene, that's like part of the problem I had with the movie. It's like unjustified character interactions. Like they're trying to make Idris Elba a father figure
Yeah.
without like actually doing any real effort. Like where he like, "Oh, you attempted to get the gun. Good job." It's like, no, you're just trying to make him into a father figure for Jake Chambers,
Yeah.
but it's like unnecessary. It's like you should have done a better job if you actually want it to be like that. And I bet in
Yeah.
the book it's not like that, where it's just like forced and just like so terribly done. The other problem like Matthew McConaughey too, right? He's a little weird in this movie. It's not like the usual role that he takes, but he's been taking all these different sort of roles right now anyway. But it's really different from like all the previous roles that he takes, because there's a lot of magic and other things that just don't really make sense in this movie. And part of that is like the magic and abilities of the people, of all the characters, are sort of undefined. Like one moment he can do something, but like coincidentally he can't do it against the gunslinger. But like
Yeah.
it's like
Yeah.
just to like forward the movie, so it's like, okay, he has an enemy, and they never explain why he can resist his magic. They just say he can resist his magic. It's like, all right, why?
Yeah.
Like, did something happen? Is he like, does he own something? Is he like partially like a magic wielder as well? And then also like Jake Chambers' abilities, like he can keep open a portal, so and they can't close it. But then other times he's just too weak to do anything. Like I understand he can't control his abilities, but there's just no like definitive way to like define his abilities, and then that way they can sort of just chalk anything up into the storyline. Like they can just that's the answer that they give. It's like, okay, he can do it because he has these abilities. So you can just do that for like Walter as well, which is Matthew McConaughey's character. He's like, he can just do this because he has magic. And the last part I didn't like was when Walter gets shot. It's like, that didn't even make sense. So Idris Elba fires initial bullet, it's flying in, and then he shoots another bullet later. So this was already going, and then it bounces off something, hits it, and then goes into Matthew McConaughey's heart. How does that even make sense? Because like this one has no resistance. It's just the air resistance going straight to him, and he's about to catch it. And then the other bullet bounces off of something, which would lose momentum, making it even slower than going in this direction. And then coming in again, it's like, come on, what the heck? The distance traveled, plus the momentum loss, would actually be slower than just going straight. And then also, this is just this is just a small detail, but it's just annoyed me. It's like, that's the first thing I noticed too. It doesn't have to be realistic, but it's like, come on, are you really doing something that stupid? Like, he should have fired the bullet on the side first with the ricochet, and then had this one travel in, and then it would have made more sense. But whatever, that's just a small detail. And the other thing, it sort of looked like a ninja movie for a second too, like right when they're attacking the tribe. It's like right out of The Last Samurai when the ninjas come in and just bombard the place. And then,
yeah, that was frustrating for me because I was so confused by what kind of world they were in. Like, I know that there was different dimensions in the movie, and the idea was that they were gonna sort of cross over and do like a Thor the Dark World thing where like different dimensions were falling in on each other. But like at one point there's like weird scaly monsters that they're fighting, and then there's ninjas, and then there's regular people, and it made no, like, I didn't know where they came from. Like, who are they? There was no explanation. They just dropped whatever like stereotypical mythical creature they could think of.
Exactly, yeah. I don't really understand the role of those like subordinates either. Like the other skin changers, like why were they going along with him? What were they gaining out of it? They didn't explain that either. Like, did he amass this army with his magic, or did he just like have a pep rally and everyone just joined in? They're like, there's like so many questions for this movie, which is why it's just a fine movie. Again, it's not terrible. I'm just like saying what I didn't like about it, but there's like, if you're just going there just to watch an okay movie, then that's all you should expect. The expectation shouldn't be that high for this movie.
Yeah, exactly. At no point did I look at the clock or whatever during this movie, and at no point was I like, man, I really want to leave right now. But at the same time, I was also sort of like, I would have done that differently, or this could have been done so much better. They could have explained more. So yeah, definitely don't be paying full price to see this. Yeah. Don't even really download it. Like, don't even like let your computer take up the space. Like, just find a stream, get a few drinks going, laugh at the stupid physics. Oh, the other stupid thing, when I can't remember the characters, but two characters get tackled out of a window and they fall into an incoming bus, but they perfectly managed to land through the windshield.
Elba.
And onto the bus. And it's like, you guys would have been splat on the ground like a stick of gum or something. Yeah, that was actually probably the most frustrating part, was the physics in this movie, because they wanted the guns to make it look like like the gun slinger sequences were all wanted, you know, with James McAvoy, and he's like
or Matrix too, because it's like so unrealistic.
Yeah,
that's what I said right after the movie, that it's sort of like a Matrix like meets like cowboy movie as well. But the good thing of this movie though was that people actually died. Like, a lot of people died, like significant characters, like, spoiler alert, his mom, his stepdad. Like, they're not afraid to actually just kill people, which is good. It's not like, oh, you're just gonna end up happy. Like, it's like a bittersweet ending. Like good does prevail, but like at a massive cost mentally to the child. So it's at least okay like that. So I like it when they actually kill people, and instead people are just like, ugh, my arm, and they're like a little injured. It's like, come on, you kidding me? That's the one thing I liked about the movie, the deaths.
There was also something that they tried to do where Idris Elba crosses over into, I guess, what's called or Keystone Earth. That's what it's called. So basically our dimension. And it's sort of like a fish out of water scenario. Like, he gets antibiotics for a wound. He doesn't really understand the concept of pills, so he just takes Coke. The whole thing. Yeah, he drinks Coke, and it's
Sugar.
like, what is...
Oh my god, so good.
Yeah, like he wouldn't know what that is, and that was really
What's
cool.
a hot
But
dog? You're eating dog? That's barbaric. It's like, yeah, that sort of thing.
yeah, he calls them savages.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I really like that because they did it they downplayed that. They didn't have too many fish out of water moments. Like the most annoying fish out of water movie for me is like Thor. You know that first Thor movie where he spends
Yeah.
like 2 hours on Earth and it's literally just like scene after scene of him going through human
I like
situations.
this. Smash. It's like, come on.
Yeah. Like they didn't make a whole movie out of it, which this movie easily could have been. Like they could have wasted 45 minutes just showing him
Keystone
not
Wars.
understanding.
Yeah.
But they gave small little kind of funny moments towards the end, and I think that was pretty effective.
Yeah. All right. So overall, how would you rate it?
I think if I was in a bad mood, I would give it like a 5 out of 10. But because it was entertaining and it's the kind of movie that you watch with a group of friends, maybe with a few drinks going, I'm gonna give it just a solid 6 out of 10.
Yeah,
So like
that's
a
what I would
C.
give it. A 6 out
Yeah.
of 10. Solid 6 out of 10. All right, so that's the end for this review. Defenders is coming out soon, so we're gonna quickly watch that whole season, and then we'll do a review on that as well. So thanks for watching.